Good day, everyone. My name's Manita, and we are here with another episode of Skip My Scars. I am your favorite business coach and consultant, and we have some amazing people on the couch.
Hello, everyone. My name is Winette. I'm your favorite wedding specialist and planner, and welcome to another episode of Skip My Scars. We're happy to have all of you.
Amazing. So, in the spirit of this theme of amazingness, we have an amazing woman who truly just has transcended so many things. And she's going to tell us her story today of all the things she's overcome and where she is headed. So, tell us who is this?
First of all, thank you for having me. It is such an honor to be here. I truly believe in the vision of this podcast and it aligns with who I am. And so with no further ado, my name is Amber-Layne Miller. Amber-Layne is my first name and I am how old am I? 22 years old and I'm an only child. And if you haven't noticed already, I enjoy being an only child because I think there's so much that God has been able to do through my life, even though it doesn't seem based off of the facts that I should be where I'm at today. It is very evident that God had his unique plan set out for my life. And so I'm happy to share that with you all today.
Oh man, that is amazing. So we're gonna dive into that because I cannot relate.
Yeah,
I have five siblings.
Oh man.
So I know what it is. Sometimes like a good Friday night growing up, like 2 plates like Big Boys or whoever the restaurant was back in the day, and like that splitting between 6 people, like that was like what the hustle was like. So like tell me, what is this one child wonder? How does that feel?
So it's funny. I actually grew up in a Bahamian-Jamaican household with my mom and my 2 grandparents. So it was always just us in this little family. But to me, it seemed like everything because it's all I've ever known. And so what's funny was I was born in Atlanta, but raised in the Bahamas in a Bahamian-Jamaican household, more Jamaican than Bahamian. So honestly, it's like, I don't know where I come from. I was raised with the fear of God. I was raised knowing that God was my father. And it's more like I took on the ownership of being a kingdom citizen before belonging to the Bahamas, before belonging to Jamaica or wherever else people think I should be from. So it was always just this me as this little baby in this little family. And I was always around adults. So there was never a younger sibling to crack jokes off of. It was primarily my mom and I with my grandparents. And so it was really cool growing up in a family where I was able to freely express myself without any option to compare myself to any other person around me because there was no one like me. Everybody else were adults. So I think I was given the opportunity to blossom into who Amber-Layne needed to be because there was no one to compare myself to.
That's so interesting. So how old were you? Were you only born in Atlanta or did you spend some time growing up there?
Yeah, so I literally was born in Atlanta because at the time, this is based off of what I know. Because at the time we were visiting family of my dad's. And so I was born in Atlanta, but I grew up primarily in the Bahamas. So yeah, I'm more Bahamian raised than anything else.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so did you suffer spoiled child syndrome? Because you know that is what only children are infamous for.
Yeah, I think I was spoiled. Yeah, I think I was spoiled, but the thing is, I don't think I ever grew up without the knowledge of knowing what hard work does for you. And why I'm saying this is because I grew up in a family of educators and Jamaicans. I love the fact that I grew up in a part Jamaican household because there is no success without hard work. And so I've seen the success of my grandparents. I've seen the success of my parent because of how hard they worked, because of the knowledge that it's God that gives you the strength to do what you're doing. And so, yes, I had what I needed, but I didn't see what I was given without the work put in for it. So I would say that I grew up with grit because of that knowledge.
Yeah, and I think that's so important because a
Yes.
lot of times when persons don't have value for the benefits that they have, you can have the benefits, but when you don't have value for it, that leaves you just squandering opportunities
Everything.
and messing. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I completely agree with that. And I'm grateful for it. Because here's the thing. I think it is necessary for some people's mindsets to be turned from the idea that every child has to suffer until a point of success.
Mhm.
And I think what the enemy wants us to do is, and I'm speaking for the Caribbean region, we've accepted toil for too long.
Yes.
We have.
It's a demonic spirit. I'll call it what it is. I'm very black and white. I'm a very black and white person. It's a demonic spirit. You don't have to toil your entire life
Mhm.
for you to reach a point of success. I
Yes.
think it is a good thing to be able to show your kids, right? Okay, this is the work that I'm putting in, but you are allowed to have good.
Yes.
We can't say we're highly favored. We can't say that the Lord smiles on me and he loves me. But my life looks like pain and suffering
Mhm.
and heartache, right? So it's okay to show your kids a good life.
Yeah.
It is.
Still show them how you got there though,
Yeah.
right? So
So as you grew up now with this, what I could consider a firm foundation, you had the backing understanding of faith. How did faith shape your childhood?
oh my God, it was all I've known. And looking back at it, I am so grateful that I always had a working knowledge of who God was. And my mom, she told me later on in my life that she would have friends that would be like, well, Delette, why don't you tell your kid exactly what you need to do? Delette, why don't you raise Amber with her seeing you be the parent, right? My mom raised me with the entire belief system of, did you ask God first? Did you pray about it first? Because here's the thing, she always raised me with the belief system of, if I was to die today, do you have a guidance forward? Do you have someone, do you have the Lord to lead you into what you need to do? Many times parents, they train you from pain, they train you from trauma, and subsequently it leads you into a path that kind of replicates how their life turned out, right?
Yeah.
But my mom always raised me with the belief that prayer is your sounding board. Go to God. And so prayer was all I've ever known. I grew up in church, but it wasn't until later in my life that I understood truly that you have to know God's voice for yourself. You have to know him for yourself. Your family's religion, their beliefs can't carry you. Can't carry you. It won't last. So
Growing up with this level of conviction, of course, that's going to make you different from the crowd. How
Yeah.
did that impact your interactions with your peers?
it was so frustrating. So frustrating. Especially as an only child, there's a temptation to feel like no one understands. There's a temptation to feel like you're on an island. And what's funny is growing up, my mom, she always used to tell me, Amber, you're extraordinary. Like, you can't expect to find people that are like you as a means to comfort you. You can't expect to lean on the truth of other people. You were made to be different. And it was frustrating because I would see friends of mine going to parties, this one drinking this one smoking this one have 15 boyfriends, this one doing this, right? And it was frustrating because I couldn't join them. And the thing is, when you can't join people that look like you, you're like, am I weird? Like, what am I doing? Right? Why can't I just be normal? And it was frustrating to me. But I see it now because if I was to morph into my surroundings, I wouldn't be who I am today.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you had to contend with, I guess, maybe in some instances, probably some peer pressure and press into becoming now as a teenager and then choosing a life path. How did that shape out for you?
Can you repeat that?
Just going into choosing a career,
Yeah.
deciding the way that you're going to go. How did that look? Because, of course, now if you're not like everyone else and you're not participating in all this stuff, so you're not probably going to make the same choices they're making. How did you decide, okay, this is my next step?
Yeah. So the thing is, because I told you, like, I grew up in church, I always grew up around music as well. I grew up in a very musical family. So my granddad would play the piano. My Grammy would play here and there. She would sing, always be in choirs. And I always grew up in a musical space. So I grew up singing in church, doing performances in school and stuff like that. And I had to pay attention to what people revealed to me that I was good at.
Okay.
And I found out though that singing was one of the easiest ways for me to get lost. And when I say get lost, I mean singing was one of the most carefree spaces for me. Singing was a place where I was able to freely express myself with no judgment. And I grew to love that form of communication. And here's the thing that people don't talk about with only children. They only address the spoiled part of it, but they don't address the amount of isolation that could produce in a kid. When you don't have another sibling to talk to, you start to internalize everything.
Wow.
Everything. Your mind becomes your friend. And if you don't put the truth of God in here, that enemy will twist up every every thought. And for most of my childhood, I grew up not knowing how to express myself.
Wow.
At all. I only would talk to my mom. Like, I'd be like, Mommy, I feel this, I feel that. And parents, she birthed me, so she could read me. But the average person, they were like, oh, I don't know. And it was very difficult for me to express myself. And so there were so many years of my life where I was emotionally unstable because I wouldn't express myself until it was pent up, until it was too much.
Right.
Right? And so being an only child definitely affected the way of me communicating. I didn't know how to communicate myself. So singing was that space for me because I didn't know how to put things into words without melody.
That is so interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So how has that turned out now? Are you now able to express yourself, or do you still sing to find a safe space? What do you do?
I think with maturity, and I think with life's experiences, I have come to realize that my thoughts are valid. They're valid, and they don't have to be perfect to be explained or expressed. And I'm a completely different person because instead of hearing the word of God, hearing the affirmations of God is like, yeah, God says you're fearfully and wonderfully made. Like, yeah, you're more than a conqueror for Christ Jesus, right? Instead of all these things being head knowledge, I believe them in my heart now. And now I know how to say with my mouth, actually, what I'm feeling, and being able to see that my thoughts expressed through words have freed people around me. It has validated the feelings that I once hid. So yeah, I'm much better at communicating. Yeah, with people.
So growing into yourself, a part of that decision would entail career now. So what did it look like choosing college? How did you decide where to go and what to do when you got there? How was that for you?
Okay, so I graduated from Queens College. So Queens College was my high school, QC, as Bahamians say, QC, right? And I was the deputy head girl at QC. I was smart, right? But I wasn't really excited about college. I was just like, this is what people do, I guess. Like, this is the more socially acceptable route to take, especially coming from a family of educators, right?
Yeah.
People who have built the pillar of education here in the Bahamas. How dare you not go to college? And so what's funny was my grandma, she would ask me all throughout my childhood, what do you want to be when you grow up? I never had an answer. I didn't know. My mom, I know she's getting a little nervous though, because My mom, she isn't the judgmental type. She would more so foster whatever she sees within me. And so when it came closer to grade 12, she was like, okay, do you know what you want to do yet? I'm like, no, I don't. But what's funny was I heard of this one school, Lipscomb University in Tennessee. I was like, okay, this is the first school I heard. Let me go. And my mom, she's a medical technologist. And so I said, okay, science. I've always grown up with a love for science because I like intricacies and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, maybe I could do dermatology because I always like skincare and makeup and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So my plan was to become a dermatology physician assistant. Right. And so my plan was to take up a degree in biology and then take further steps to, pursue that career. But there was this one day that I was at QC because QC was the first virtual graduation that happened because we were smack in the middle of COVID. I was a COVID graduate. Okay. And so I was at QC because we did some music videos to project on the screen for graduation and stuff like that. And a teacher of mine, Mr. Carell Colby, he said, Amber, have you heard of ORU? And I was like, I think I've heard about it. I heard Dr. Miles Monroe went there.
Oh, okay.
And so many pillars of the faith went there. But I didn't really look it up because, like I said, I didn't care about college, really. I was just like, let's get this degree. Let's do it.
Checkable.
Yes, yeah, really. And he was like, I think ORU would be a great fit for you. And so he literally gave me his phone. He said, look up ORU. It's probably like he knew I wasn't going to really check. He said, look up ORU. And I scrolled and he said, I think the music scene would be great for you. And he knew I wanted to study biology, mind you. But he was like, I think this space matches you. And what's funny was on the website for ORU, I looked for the music things right away. Even though I said I wanted to do biology, I wanted to see what the worship looked like. I wanted to see what the possibilities of studying music would be like. And I was like, yeah, this is the one. I actually felt a spark concerning college. And so I went there without visiting and I started my biology degree. But the thing is, I was scared. I didn't want to go to ORU right away because I didn't want to die. What is COVID? What is COVID? I didn't want to die. So I was like, why would I go to Oklahoma? Never visited. I know. So I did my first semester virtually. Okay. So that was very isolating, but I started. And my first semester in person, I came to find out biology was in it. Wow. It wasn't it.
How? Yeah. How did the family feel now that you're like, no, that's not for me?
How it actually happened was, first of all, I'm the kind of person where if I say I want to do something, I'm going to do it. Like, whether it rain, whether it hails, whether it storms, I'm going to do it. And there was a gut feeling within me that was like, now I know it was the Lord speaking to me. He's like, you're trying to put on shoes that don't fit. And so there was one morning I called my mom crying and I was like, Mommy, I'm sorry. Like, I know I said that this is what I wanted to do, but I think I need to switch to music. And this is so funny to me because I expected her to be like, what? Like, what? She literally smiled on the phone and said, I knew that you would come to this point. I know that you're supposed to be doing music. And I felt like I was the last person added to this group chat. Like no one was surprised but me. And so I asked God for confirmation, had never asked him for confirmation for anything. But I was like, if I'm changing my life's plan, I need to know that this is what I need to be doing. And when I tell you, when I made that decision, doors fling wide open for me. Like, I walked into the music building. I was like, hi, my name is Amber. I need a switch. And what's funny is that was the last day to switch over majors. Oh, wow. That same day. And when I went into that office, the office administrator, he said, I've heard about you. Oh, wow. I've heard so many amazing things about you. I'm going to enroll you now. Wow. That wasn't supposed to happen. Yeah. Anyone who enters a music degree, they have to audition, do a whole long process before they even get on campus. And he said, I'll enroll you today without an audition. Wow. Yeah. That is favorite. So you're in alignment now. What did it feel like? taking the degree.
Yes.
It was incredibly intimidating because being able to sing doesn't mean that you know how to study at a collegiate level music.
Mhm.
For the ignorant, they think studying music is just singing. It's not. It's a whole lot of theory. And music is right next to math and science. It's very scientific. All of these intervals and all of these chord progressions, it's very complicated. And so I was sitting in classrooms with people who have been studying and doing music since they were 3, playing the piano since they 6, you know? And I'm like, I have a good voice and I have a good air. I don't know why I'm here, but God told me to be here. And when I tell you, he graced me for the journey, because there was never a step in my journey where I didn't have the help I needed.
Wow.
So his grace covered it. If he called you, he'll
Yeah.
make provision for it.
Yes.
I completely get what you're saying.
Yeah.
So then you get through that and you get to the point of graduation. Did you
Mhm.
know what was next?
So I knew that I fell in love with the voice. I fell in love with helping people discover their true God given voice. And I think for me, this goes beyond singing. This goes into people finding their true voice in general. And this makes sense, and it aligns with my personal vocal training business now. I am the owner of the A Layne Vocal Studio, and our slogan is find your voice, master your sound. And so I was able to come to that conclusion and know that I was able to find my voice actually through singing. I was able to find my ability to communicate ideas through singing. And now I'm able to do that for people. You see what I'm saying? And so I think because I've been transformed with the gift God placed in me, I knew I wanted to do that for other people.
Ooh.
I knew I wanted to do that. And music opened so many other doors. So
Yeah.
I was like, this is where I want to start.
And that is such an important calling, because I've shared the story before. I tell it all the time, because you wouldn't imagine like an insignificant incident to most people
Mhm.
could change someone's life. I had a challenge when I was like 4 or 5, and I went up to sing and like coming back down because I was singing with some other girls. This lady in the congregation, she pointed out and she was like, "Oh, she sounded okay, but that other girl sounded better." And then that literally, that insignificant thing. And I imagine in doing some self-reflection, it impacted me because I didn't really have support system. So I resonate with the fact of not having a father there, really maybe lacking affirmation. I don't know. But that little comment like knocked me off course. So if I could have been invisible in the room, I would. And that was because somebody didn't affirm my singing as a toddler. And so helping people find their voice. There's so many people that are locked in for whatever reason, not just because they sang. Maybe they talk too loud and someone be like, "Oh, she's so talkative," and that triggered them, and so now they just shut down. And so granted, the person making the comment, they may be ignorant on what they're doing, but that can literally shatter a life.
It can. Entire life.
Yeah.
An entire life.
Yeah. Yeah. So now you are Miss Amber-Layne that does it all. How do you feel? Do you feel stretched now because you're gifted with singing, but you have so many other talents?
Yeah. Um, so here's the thing. Nothing I do now is something that just started. Everything I am today have been seeds that have been planted forever ago. And so in terms of her talking about me being multifaceted, I do makeup as well. I am also the owner of the A Layne Beauty. And so I'm able to do bridal makeup, makeup for events. And I have been doing my makeup forever because, like I said, I grew up as an only child, didn't know how to express myself. So I used painting on my eyes as a way to express myself, doing a little lipstick. When I was such a small kid, right? I literally would put lip glosses in a plastic bag, in a little Ziploc bag. And I would say, "Mom, I have my lips." I would call it lips. And I would put it under my pillow and sleep with it.
Oh wow.
Right? And so Literally, I've always like lips, right? And one day I'm gonna have a lipstick brand called Lips because I've been playing with makeup for forever. And so I do makeup. I also worked one time as a photographer. Love pictures and videos. Love that. So that benefits my mom and all of the content creation I do for her institute and for myself as well. I also do voice, and I'm also a co-worship director. So all of it is me. And I think it's cool because God uses all of it to profit my life. I make money from all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is an important point because people don't believe that, okay, well, if you're doing something, you can't monetize it.
Yeah.
Or if you work for the Father, you should be giving everything away for free.
Yeah.
Because I think that is a nasty Christian narrative that, okay, if you're faith-based and you're an entrepreneur, you should either be super cheap or you shouldn't be charging people because you should just be doing it.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to be profitable.
I agree.
We're supposed to be profitable. So that is a blessing.
That's a part of wisdom, though.
Yeah.
Our gifts are supposed to make room for us. And I think many times because we don't believe what the word says actually, that we allow our giftings to be trampled over. And when I say be trampled over, we're doing the trampling. I'm not pointing a finger. Most times we are trampling over our giftings before someone else could. They never saw your business idea because you trampled on it too much.
Yeah.
It's dead now on the inside of you. And so I can't explain my journey without the word of God. I can't explain my success without capitalizing on why faith in what God says is everything. There's nothing in scripture that's dramatized. There's nothing in scripture that's exaggerated. Your gift is supposed to make room for you. But if you can't see it as an opportunity for it to make room, the word can't become alive and active.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is powerful.
Yeah.
So I know, and I'm bubbling on the inside because I know there are some big things in the works. And so she's going to be back on the couch, guys, because it's going to be epic. But until then, what scar would you want to encourage others to skip?
Ooh, child. Which one? I would say whatever's on the inside of you is there for a reason. And if you haven't seen it expressed in anyone else before, that's okay because it's in you. And so I would say stop hiding what's on the inside of you. If you're in a business meeting, there's a reason why you don't agree. Voice that opinion.
Yes.
There is a reason. If you have an opposing thought, or if you have a compliment in your heart to say to somebody, say it. Right? Just because everyone else in the room isn't smiling, you smile. There is joy on the inside of you. And so I just want people to stop hiding, stop pretending, let who you are out. Let it out because it benefits everyone around you. Right? Why are we being clones? Be a clone for what?
Yes.
Right? And so you don't have to see it done to do it.
Yes.
I like
Start.
that.
I love it. I
like that.
Yeah.
How can the people find you?
Well, you can find me on social media at the Amber-Layne, Amber-Layne, on pretty much every social media platform. So I'd love to connect with you.
Amazing. Come and get your vocal coaching, guys.
Yeah.
All right. So that was another episode. And if you feel as though you have a story that you'd want to share, reach out, send a message, email us. We'd love to hear what you have to say.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
Bye.